Hi and welcome to morning stretching. We will always do one exercise to stretch, and then I'm going to read from here something about the Dehesa. And I try to learn it and understand it all, and participating in the exercises is at your own risk. So let's start with the first one. Just a warm-up exercise. We're having the legs standing wide apart. We're breathing in and out. And again in. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. Out. And last time in. And out. Now close the legs. And we have done the opening exercise. So we're breathing always in through the nose, deep into the chest and out through the mouth. So breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. The first thing to the Dehesa. So Dehesa is a region in Spain and Portugal. So Dehesa is a region, it's an area, and that is in Spain and Portugal. And that is here. So here's Africa and here's Europe, and there is Spain and Portugal. And somewhere in Spain and Portugal, there is a region which is called Dehesa. Next exercise. We're having again the legs standing a bit wide apart, a bit above and shoulder wide apart. We're breathing in and lifting our arms up. And we're breathing out and going to one side. And now breathe in and open the rib cage. So breathe in. And again out. And again in. And out. Back into the middle. And breathe in. And out to the other side. And breathe in and out the rib cage. And out. And again in. And out back into the middle. So Dehesa is in Spain and Portugal. The Dehesa region in Spain and Portugal is used as Agrosylvopastoral system. So it's used for agriculture, for Agrosylvopastoral system. The name Agrosylvopastoral system describes a type of agriculture where trees are forested, but also the grazing of animals is planned in and more. So in an Agrosylvopastoral system, there are trees planted in a way that animals can still graze. It's a mix. It's agro for agriculture and silvo, which means forest in Latin. So Agrosylvopastoral system. The next exercise. We're having again the legs standing a bit more and shoulder wide apart. You're breathing in. And we're breathing out, and one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. And breathe in. And out, and we're taking the arm over. And breathe in and out the rib cage. And out. And again in. And out, back into the middle. Now breathe in. And out, and the other hand slides down the leg, and we're going to the other side. And breathe in. And out, and we're taking again the arm. And breathe in and out the rib cage. And out. And again in. And out, back into the middle. So the Dehesa is a region, it's an agrosylvopastoral system. So there are forested in a way that the trees can be harvested, and there is place for animals that they can grass between the trees. And it all is in Spain and Portugal. Here on the Iberian Peninsula. The four countries in the Iberian Peninsula are Spain and Portugal, and then also Andorra and a bit of France and Gibraltar. Gibraltar has a lot to do with Great Britain. So Gibraltar is more or less a part of Great Britain. So the four countries or five countries are Gibraltar, which is a part of Britain more or less, then the south part of France, Andorra, which is between France and Spain, a very little country, and then the large country Spain and the other large country Portugal. The next thing here. In Spain, where a lot of Spanish is spoken, the agricultural landscape is often called the Dehesa. In Portugal, where a lot of Portuguese is spoken, the region where trees are planted with the intent to harvest them, but that in a way where domesticated animals can graze, where it's called Montado. So in Spain, Dehesa, and in Portugal, Montado. So the region is in Spain called Montado, in Spain called Dehesa, and in Portugal, Montado. In Spain, with S, Spain, Dehesa, and Portugal, Montado. The name Dehesa is from the Latin word Defensa, which means in English defense, meaning land with fences to make enclosed pastures. So Dehesa is from the Latin word Defensa. Defensa. And Defensa means an area of land which is in fences, is enfenced. So Defensa, it has fences, so that's why Dehesa in Spanish. In Spanish, Dehesa, and in Portuguese or Portugal, Montado. The next exercise, we're having your feet standing together. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out and one hand comes down. And breathe in and reach to both ends. So breathe in and reach. And out. And again in. And out. And again in. And reach. And out. And again in. And out, and one hand comes down. And breathe in. And out. Again in. And the last time out. In and reaching. And out. So, a part of the south part of France on the Iberian Peninsula are the countries Spain and Portugal, and between France and Spain there's a little country Andorra, and at the end of Spain there is Gibraltar, which has a lot to do with Great Britain, and there is the region Dehesa in Spanish called, and in Montado in Portuguese Montado, and that's an Agrosylvopastoral system, and there are forests harvested, trees harvested, and animals. The Dehesa Montados are used for grazing, hunting, cultivation of mushrooms and honey, producing of cork from the bark of trees and firewood. Furthermore, fighting bulls and the Iberian pig raised here. With the Iberian pig, the ham jamón ibérico is made. With the fighting bulls, a spectacle in which the bulls are incited to fight an unequal fight based on their natural instincts ending with their death. So the animals domesticated there or living there or raised there are the fighting bulls and the Iberian pig. And there are mushroom produced, and honey and firewood from the trees, and from the bark of the trees is cork produced, and there's hunting done and grazing of the animals. The nature is a so-called Mediterranean forest ecosystem, which is in the Dehesa grassland with cork oaks and holm oaks. So there is grassland and cork oaks and holm oaks mainly. The holm oaks, we're coming to that in a moment I think, are there, and the cork oaks. The cork oaks are doing the cork, and the holm oaks are doing the acorns for the Iberian pigs. And there's a lot of grass for the feet and bulls to graze. Next exercise, we're having the legs standing wide apart. We're breathing in and out, and we're hanging down. And we're just helping to come deeper down by breathing deep in into the chest and out through the mouth. So breathe deep in into the chest and out through the mouth. And again in. And out. And breathe in. And out to the left leg. And breathe in. And again out. And in. And out to the other leg. And breathe in. And out. Again in. And out back into the middle. Breathe deep in. And out, becoming slowly up with a round back and making at the top, backwards, shoulder. The The oaks are producing acorns, which the Iberian pig eats. So here's just the oaks. Maybe it's also the cork oaks. But the cork oaks are having the phylum layer, the outside and the bulk, and out of that is the cork made. The understory of the forests, which is in the area a little above the ground of the forest, where shrubs are growing, is cleared from the rock rose every 10 years. So understory in the forest is not the region which is the floor, but the region above where shrubs are growing and little trees, and then the larger trees are more on top. So this understory, this middle part, a bit over the ground, that is cleared every 10 years from the rock rose, so that where the grass and the trees are growing, which are wanted and not the rock rose, which is not wanted. The next exercise, we're having the feet standing together. We're breathing in and out, and we're hanging again down. And breathe in and out, just slowly breathing in and out. And breathe in and out. And again in and out. And again in, the last time. And out, we're coming slowly up with a round back and making at the top. Again, a backward shot around. The cork oaks and the holm oaks are situated in a way that sunlight for the grasses on the ground, water in the ground, and the acorns for the Iberian pig are best balanced. So the oaks is not standing widely somewhere, but they are growing in distance, so there's enough sunlight coming between the crown of the trees to the ground, so that the grasses can grow good, but there's also enough water for the grass and also for the oaks, the holm oaks and the corn oaks, so that there's a perfect balance of sunlight and water for the trees, the corn oaks and holm oaks, and the grasses. Next exercise, the garden pose, we're having the toes pointing to the outside and an ulnar length space between the heels. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And out, and we're going down into the garden pose, and we're placing the elbows against the inside of the knees. And we are breathing in and straightening up of the back. So breathe in and straighten up. And out, and we're going with the back up. And again in. And out, back into the garden pose. And breathe again in. And out. And again in. And out, and last time we are back into the garden pose. Now breathe in, and when we breathe out, we're coming up slowly in a straight line. So breathe in. And out, we're coming slowly in one straight line. Upwards. And the last thing to the Dehesa. Spain calls that, and Montado in Portugal. The Dehesa or Montado region has around the size of Slovenia, which are circa 150 kilometers times 150 kilometers. Slovenia is a country here. So here's Europe, there's Italy, and between Italy and Austria, there's a country that's called Slovenia, and that has a size of 150 kilometers times 150 kilometers. It's a bit smaller, but around that size. And the Dehesa has around the size of 150 kilometers in one direction and 150 kilometers in the other direction, so a square of that 20,000 square kilometers. And the last exercise, the seahorse pose. We're having a standing leg, we're placing the heel of the normal leg on top of the knee of a standing leg. We're breathing in. We're doing this only if we can do it without to injure ourselves, and we're breathing out and coming down. So the Dehesa is 150 kilometers times 150 kilometers around the size of Slovenia's area region in Spain and Portugal, in central and southern Spain and southern Portugal. And in Spain it's called Dehesa, and in Portugal Montado. And we're changing to the other leg. Again, same setup. And we're going down. And that's a Mediterranean forest ecosystem. And there are trees growing, grasses, and the trees are mainly the corn oak and holm oak. And they are having acorns, these oaks, and these acorns are eaten by the Iberian pig, which is raised there, and from which the jamón ibérico or something like that is made. And there are also the fighting bulls raised, and there are, coming up again, honey and mushroom are cultivated, and we're breathing in. Last exercise. And out. But also hunting is done. and cork from the corn oaks, and a closing legs, and we're done with the morning stretching. And yes, every 10 years it's cleared from the rock rows to make a perfect balance between offers for the sunlight, for the ground, for the grasses, and water for everything. I guess that's mostly it. I thank you very much, and until next time.